And we are live. What is going on, everyone? It's your boy Johnny Dunn, and we are back with another one. Today, epic VeVe live stream. Today, we actually do have the drop. I want to cover the details, even though I did go over them last night. Just kind of want to reiterate them. We have Daredevil, issue number 131. I like the cover arts on these. Again, like I said last night, I think the ultra rare is my favorite cover. I like the secret rare. It's probably my second favorite cover on this one. And I would have to say the common is my third. So again, we got a $7 list price for retail. We got 30,000 editions. It's not one of your extremely rare edition comic books. And it's not a holy grail comic. But again, it's a first appearance of Bullseye. I think anytime we get a first appearance of any kind of character, it's a little bit of a big deal. Because eventually we're going to get comic books on VeVe to where we won't see first appearances of characters. So we got the common, 21,000 total editions. The uncommon, 5,000 editions. The rare, 2,350. The ultra rare, 1,050. And then the secret rare, 600 editions. Shout out to everybody joining the chat today. How we doing, fam? How we doing? We got Gio. We got Willow Kid in the building. How we doing, fam? Today we got the common. This is what the common looks like. Again, I like the cover of that one. We got the uncommon. Even though it's like black and white for the most part, that red kind of pops out. Not the biggest fan of this one. It's the rare. Definitely like this one the most. That's the ultra rare. I feel like that one just pops. And then we got the secret rare. Secret rare, I am a big fan of the white background on these. They look pretty clean for the most part. How we doing, fam? What are we thinking today? We thinking we're going to get blessed today with an ultra rare, secret rare? And let me know your thoughts. Are you guys going to flip the secret rare if you guys get it today? Or are you guys going to hodl it? For me, I think I would probably... Let's see. If I get the secret rare today, I think I'm going to flip it. I do. I could see a time where these secret rare comics pump again in the short term. Absolutely. But I really do think that I'm going to try to flip this. If I get a secret rare, ultra rare, I think it's only going to be a few $100, to be honest. So I think I'm just going to hold it. I like the cover art a lot, so I'd rather just hold it if it's not too expensive. But the secret rare, if I can get it off for about close to $1,000 right away, maybe even over 1,000, I think I'm going to take those gems and invest it in some other things that I really want to get before they actually boom. Good luck, Pioneers. Shout out to Jay Kill. He's in the building already. That's the thing, man. I mean, as soon as I saw that, I realized everybody here is a pioneer. I mean, if you're just joining the chat right now and, you know, you just started your collection, you're still early, man. I mean, VeVe's going to be here for decades. I always talk about that, but, I mean, when you're partnered with this many big IP brands like Disney's not going to partner with something that's only going to be here for, you know, a year or two. They're thinking long term. They're thinking legacy about their IP. And so that's what's amazing, that they trusted a company like VeVe with their entire portfolio. That's gigantic. That means that we're going to have National Geographic someday, I imagine, which I can only imagine the animals that we're probably going to have on VeVe. People will have not just showrooms, but probably zoos, like entire zoos, the same way people go in the physical world and pay to see some kind of, you know, crazy animals out there, or a safari and stuff like that. I really think eventually we're going to have so many things on VeVe to where people will have safaris and zoos in the digital world, not just a showroom. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be insane to where, like I always talked about how before The Simpsons even got dropped, just The Simpsons alone, think of how many characters in the Simpsons brand there is. People will have collections of just the entire Simpsons, which will be insane. Ooh. Willow said off topic. Off topic from the comic. But I'm thinking of listing my Ultra Rare Steamboat to load up on some comics and Ultraman also have some liquidity. It's not a bad idea, man. I mean, the only problem is you don't know when that Ultra Rare Mickey is going to explode. Maybe it doesn't explode for a while at 10K. Maybe it doesn't ever get there, right? We don't really know the future. It's hard to say, you know, absolutely go ahead, do it easily, just because I think anytime there's a series one of something legendary like Mickey Mouse or even the Batman series, series one's going to be big time, I think. But it's not that FA, so we're going to see how long it takes to actually get up there in value. There's nothing wrong with taking profits. It's just because you're going to have a win at the end of the day. It's just, you know, how big of a win are you willing to have, right? We got Jabe's feeling in the house. What up, family? Good luck today, Jabe. Hey, JD, how are you? I'm doing great, Roman. I'm tired as anything. After that live stream last night, I stayed up for a while, and I looked at the clock, and I was like, wow, it's already 4 a.m. Like, what happened? So, got some sleep, but I'm feeling extremely tired right now. Woke up congested. So this time I felt congested before I even hopped on the live stream. I've had congestion, though, for probably like the last month. Kind of strange. Don't have COVID, though, so that's good news. The only thing is, like, about this, Willow, like, I've thought about doing this with some of my bigger collectibles as well. I actually thought about doing it with Todd, believe it or not. I'm so glad I did not do it, though. Every time I think about listing Todd, I always delist it. And I always thought about listing my Todd for, I think, the floor was like 3.1K for Todd. This was just a couple days ago, mind you. And all my Todds left. It's a blessing that I have only 1,000 mints left, but it's also a curse because when I want to list one for like profit, I kind of wish I had like a fourth Todd still that was just like a high mint 7,000 something, so I could list it for the floor price and have some liquidity. So I thought about listing my 1,000 mint, my highest 1,000 mint, it's like 1,600. I thought it was going to be like 3.9K, and I almost did that. And I'm so happy I did not do that because just literally a day or two later, the floor was like 5K, and right now it's like 6K, maybe 5.8K. I think if I was to list my Todd, it'd be like 6.5K. So I've thought about listing for 6.5, grabbing a couple things I really want. But I mean, I'm just so scared to do that because Todd at any moment could be that 8K floor, and it's like, oh man, wish I still had like 4 or 5 left because I would only have 2 left at that point. And I really think we're going to be able to use Todd in the future as like collateral or some kind of DeFi. I know you won't get DeFi as in like we won't earn OMI obviously, but I think there's going to be ways to set that up. And also just for a lending aspect, I want to be able to rent my Todd out and then also profit on a Todd big time, like long term. If I only have 2 left, I won't be able to do that. Yeah, could you imagine we get South Park? I don't see why we would not get South Park. And wow, you know what's crazy about that? I'm actually not the biggest fan of South Park. I like some episodes, but I know how big South Park is. And to have those characters would be iconic for sure. Tired but happy, I hope. Yeah, absolutely. That's for sure. What do you think about the recent price hike, rather means? I am doubt it is sustainable. Well, as we know with anything in life, nothing just goes up forever, right? I mean, even though you think it just keeps going up, 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 there's always a little bit of retracement before it goes back up. Like if you were to look at it, it usually goes up, comes back down a little bit, goes back up, comes back down a little bit, and keeps going up like that. So that's why I would say like things are probably at the peak right now it's ever been, all-time high. So FOMO is going to be at the all-time high as well. I saw a lot of people buying Todds. Shout out to anybody who did finally lock in their first Todd, though. It's always a great feeling. You can never predict the absolute top of things. But, I mean, if we do see a retracement, a lot of things, it's just temporary, I believe. Take another nap after the drop. Yeah, that's a fact. Good morning, Billy Bob Bitcoin. How we doing, fam? Good luck today in the drop. South Park is hilarious. I should start watching some episodes. I've seen a couple like really hilarious episodes. Yeah, absolutely, Willow. And that's the thing. Like, I don't think that's a bad idea at all for that exact reason. If you load up on the right things, everything's gonna have its day, right? And maybe you load up on some Fantastic Four number ones. Like I had 2 or 3 ultra rare Fantastic Four number ones because I just saw they were so undervalued. Fantastic Four number 1 is arguably, no matter what comic drops on VeVe, like it's gonna be a top 3 comic. So because of that reason, I was like, wow, okay. So I load up on like 10 uncommons. I'm actually just letting one go again right now for $100. I was buying them for like $60 or $70. I was like, this is super undervalued, I felt like. So now I feel like people are starting to catch on to it. It's back up to $100 now. I was buying the ultra rares at like 330, I think it was 350. And I was like, there's no way the ultra rare of arguably the top 3 comic, no matter what, on VeVe is going to stay under $400. And right now, I think it's back up to 500. So that's always good news. I think Fantastic Four number 5 too. That's a good one with Doctor Doom. Amazing Spidey number 1. That's a great one as well. The only thing with that one is it could get hurt if we do see the other Spider-Man, the first appearance of Spider-Man comic book. But even when that one comes out, this is still an iconic comic book to where it's gonna, I think, stand the test of time. South Park's definitely massive. It's got that cult following, kind of like The Simpsons does too. So I don't think that's a bad thing. 60 minutes to the drop. It's actually hilarious. I just picked up a secret rare comic book too. Not the most valuable comic book in the world, but I was looking at them all and I was like, you know what? This comic book is probably one of the worst comic books. Not worst, but like one of the lower tier comics, I would say. It's not a grail. It's not sought after in the real world at all. But it's a secret rare. Crazy master collector points. I had a lot of extra gems left over. And I was like, you know what? I want to pick out my favorite looking secret rare cover. It was a Dark Hawk. This is my favorite looking secret rare. So I picked up one, right? For under $300. And then I still had gems left over. And I was like, wait a second. What's the lowest mint of this? And I looked. And the lowest mint was like a 200 number, I think it was. Was it really that low? It was like 200 or 400. I'm going to check right now. I can't check my comics for some reason. But it was like a crazy low secret rare. So I was like, why is this only... I think it was $500. It was only $200 more than the floor. So I said, even though this comic's not sought after, the cover looks amazing. It's still a secret rare. People are going to eventually buy this. So I bought the secret rare 200 mint. I did put it out there for sale. 683. Okay, yeah. 683 is the second lowest available. Market's closed right now. But I feel like that number right there, a 683 secret rare, no matter what comic book it is, it's going to be over $1,000. But I would say if you only have a few gems left over, that's not the comic book that you want to go all out on. That's for sure. 3 Top Gang, let's go. My lowest at 233. Bought one on Real Store March 13th. Oh yeah, okay. So the retail price. So $80, you got a mint number 233. That is huge, J Kill. I think that being an original owner of the Todd Batman, that I'm so happy that mine originally owned too. So you have a super low mint original owned. The lowest mint I have. So that means that you got into the store, you got into the Batman. It tells a story. That's why I love this, because that means that you were literally that early to VeVe that you were able to purchase a 233 mint number of the first VeVe NFT in the world. Like, that's going to be iconic. My lowest mint number, I think, is just over 1,000. It's like 1,050 or something like that. So it's just a little late getting there to get to sub 1,000 mint number, Todd. But I'm happy though. I mean, I got, let's see, my lowest mint number, yeah, for the Todd was like 1,050 something. So I think being an original owner of Todd is just a crazy story to tell. You're going to be able to tell people, like, think about this. Shout out to the Pirates and his brother. They just put out a great YouTube video the other day. His brother made a great point. They talked about how, like, right now the target audience, I think their target audience on VeVe is actually lower than what it is right now. I think they said they were kind of surprised that the audience ranges from like 20 to like 40-ish right now. Majority of the people. I think they were anticipating a little bit lower of an age bracket. It's probably like 25 to 35, I would say. But I think they were anticipating like younger generations to be on it. And I think that's still to come. I think in the future, like 5 years from now, even 10 years from now, but really like 5 to 10, we're going to see the younger generations, people in high school, they're going to be at lunch together. They talked about, they're going to be showing off their collections. This is just a new collecting app. This is just a new way people collect. And so I definitely see a lot of younger kids probably being on this app one day. And I just think that right now the target audience is a little bit older than people, or that the VeVe expected. So we will see a younger generation on here for sure. So think about that. Like when kids are on this app 5 to 10 years from now, being an original owner of Todd, the first NFT, is going to be like, what? Like people won't believe it. Like imagine being original owner of a CryptoPunk. It just tells a story that you were in this space since 2017. Like that's unbelievable. We have fun under the sun. Let's go. How we doing, fam? That's what a lot of people are saying right now. It's kind of, I would say the majority of people think that the prices are going to drop big time when the MTL gets released to everybody. So I've always been a person to kind of think opposite of what, like most of the time, if majority thinks something's going to happen in the market, usually the opposite happens. I just feel like that's a normal way to think, absolutely, that the prices would dip when everybody can cash out. But I don't think it's going to happen like that for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to roll out slowly in waves to where not everyone can just cash out in a blink of a second, you know? If that was the case, then maybe I would say, yeah, it probably will dip a little bit. But it's going to be so slow to where I don't think that's going to be the case. By the time everybody can cash out, they're probably going to have the Master Collector program rolled out to where it will incentivize people to hold. Also, they're probably going to release a big announcement of some kind of new brand that's coming to VeVe soon, and the people aren't going to want to cash out because of that. People are going to want to take profits, sure, so maybe things dip a tiny bit, but I don't think things are going to dip as much as people think. Also, the last reason I would say is we just waited since February, March, a lot of us, some people even earlier, just to have the ability to cash out. This was a risky investment for so many people. A lot of people who had millions of dollars did not put any money into VeVe, and they said they're going to wait until you can cash out because that's when it becomes a safe investment. Think if you only had a couple $1 million and you wanted to make a big investment. Would you put all your money or a good amount of money into an investment to where you can't pull it out? Most people haven't had the time to go research the team, to understand what VeVe really is, the whole Akoma team. If they did, they would see it as a safe investment at that point, even if you couldn't cash out. Just because you understand where this is going, you would have trust in the team. But, you know, it takes time and it takes a lot of effort to do that. A lot of people are busy. They got their own careers going, etc. Didn't have the time to understand, research the team. So on the outside looking in, when you can't cash out, it looks like a risky investment. I think it's going to make it seem like a safe investment to a lot of people who are on the fence. We had Knight Rider in the building. No, I actually don't know what the news or updates or anything like that was, or bugs. I was trying to fix or trying to see what the bugs were. I thought maybe the showrooms would like prevent from crashing, but I tried opening a showroom to fix it, and it crashed right away. So I was like, nope, that's not it. Oh, okay, your retail one was March 3rd, 13th. Okay. Paid less than 1K for a 233 Todd, though. That's a steal right there, J Kill. Okay, yeah, so 2,784. All right. I got you. Still early, though. I mean, a 2,000 mint number retail Todd. Definitely want to hodl that one, man. I don't really see this comic being that huge. I do see it being a bigger deal than a non-first appearance comic. Like, this is the first appearance of Bullseye. Not the biggest character in the world, but still, it's a pretty big character. And eventually, we're going to get comic books on VeVe to where there's not a first appearance of characters. So that's why I think anytime, you know, we get a first appearance of a comic, it's a little bit of a big deal. So VeVe has a marketplace. Shout out to Osley for joining. If this is your first time joining the chat, so VeVe is an app. Basically, it's just digital collectibles. The same way that in the real world there's physical collectibles, VeVe just digitized it. You know, they're not making anything crazy that new. It's just they're taking something that's already existed in the physical world and just digitizing it. You know how there's Pokemon cards in the real world? Now, maybe one day, there might be digital Pokemon cards. And so there's a marketplace on the VeVe app. I haven't even tried, to be honest. I think I will try just to see if it's a feature for me, just to see if I can do it. But I think you'll need to go on the omi.vv.me site for it. Funko Pops, exactly. That's what his brother was talking about. Pirates' brother. He was talking about how this is like the new Funko Pops. Like, let me. There we go. These remind me so much of the Marvel Mighties. And now some of these Funko Pops are not worth that much. Some of them actually are worth a lot. I don't have any that are worth a lot though. My Funko Pop collection is more so just something that like feeds the soul. It's just stuff that I like Biggie, Mike Trout, Lil Wayne, Allen Iverson, Tiger Woods, like just some iconic characters I loved growing up. About 6 minutes to the drop. How we doing, fam? We got Dubes in the building. What's up, brother? Anybody know why the Coca-Cola Snow Globe comment is so low right now for 140 gems? Is it because of the festive look? I think that's what we're seeing right now, Knight Rider. I think the polar bear is awesome. I think that Comet Snow Globe, I thought it would be at least $200. I did. I think also Coca-Cola may be one of the first brands to go interoperable since they already have an NFT out there. And when that does happen, I think that's the one to explode. But like you said, the festive, I think the Deadpool is kind of getting slept on because of that reason as well. Hopefully those accessories will be able to get taken off one day because I think that'll help the price out. And I was talking to some other people about that too. I think they mentioned it. I think Claire just mentioned it too recently. I was talking to her. And it kind of makes sense the more I keep hearing about it because, I mean, think about it in the summer. Are people going to want to show off their like Christmas snowy stuff in the summertime? I'm not sure about that. Maybe they might want to. I'm not really sure. What's up, Muskie Doge? How we doing, fam? We got Tony in the building. Robbie Remington joining the chat. What's up, brother? Good luck today, too, my man. Yeah, VeVe Vibes. How we doing, brother? I actually thought about selling mine, and I was like, you know what? I can't sell this one just because exactly what you just said here. It's the first appearance. It's an uncommon. We see what the price is of that. I think it's the ultra rare. It's low edition. It's a New York Comic Con exclusive. Ultra rare, I want to say, is like 4K right now. So the next rarity is the uncommon, and it's like $190. The first appearance of Spider-Man, I think it should be more than 190. Is it actually up to 190? Last time I saw it was like 160, so maybe it is going up there. How we doing, Robbie? Oh, I thought this was Robbie Remington. How we doing, December Bitcoin's cats? VeVe Vibe said, do you think the uncommon Ben Riley Spidey is undervalued? Personally, I think it could be the next thing to pump and is under 190. I also like that art more than the other Spideys. It is definitely an interesting concept. I think the texture of that Spider-Man looks a little bit better. Or not better, I should say. It's just different. It's like more of a vibrant red color as opposed to the more traditional suit. And that Ben Riley is supposed to be like a newer version of Spider-Man, I think. So it makes sense that Spider-Man costume's like a little bit newer looking, I guess you could say. We do have an extremely limited comic book drop coming up soon, though. Let me just read what VeVe tweeted out. Wow, this is huge. This is actually a little tease. This is wow. Okay, look. This is what VeVe just said. They replied to their own update. So this is what they said yesterday about the market coming back on. Or this is what they said about the market closing. In 45 minutes, we're going to be taking the app down for approximately 2 hours for upgrades and maintenance. And then they replied, this is back-end maintenance and upgrades. We'll let you know when front end changes are made. Thank you. Wow. So they said they made back end changes, back end maintenance and upgrades. So that means that we won't see the upgrades that they made. They'll let us know when the front end changes are right. So maybe, I don't know what the updates could be, but maybe they installed the Master Collector program points in the back end. And so everybody's points are like being calculated right now. And the front end changes mean that maybe we'll see that Master Collector program, how many points we have in our profile. I'm not sure if that's the case or not, but who knows? That'd be amazing to see. I think the market will pump as soon as people can see how many Master Collector points they have. I think that's a big deal right there. Yeah, so let me bring up this comic book. Where is it? All right, here it is. The first appearance of Mr. Fix-It, the Hulk's gray alter ego. Marvel's Incredible Hulk number 347 features VeVe exclusive rare and ultra rare covers. This super limited edition digital comic drops in Blind Box Thursday. So we have a super limited edition. I don't know how many editions that's going to be. But if you look at the VeVe Twitter, geez, my congestion is terrible. I feel like I have to blow my nose so bad right now. Gio said, good luck, good luck, good luck. We got a minute left to the drop. Don't miss the drop. No. I mean, can you imagine? I haven't missed it once from just talking, but I imagine I will miss it one time. I'll get so carried away in my story I'm telling, I'll forget about the drop. All right, here we go, fam. Less than a minute. Another coffee gate. All right, so I'm going to exit out. I'm going to come back in. I actually forgot to delete my file, so we'll see if that matters. Delete all my apps that I'm using right now besides VeVe. $30 seconds, fam. Oh, man. Secret rare time. Let's go. Good luck, everybody in the chat. I'm going to record this one. All right, 15 seconds, everybody. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Bye now. I think I got it. No, all editions have been allocated. No way. I missed again. That felt like I was about to get it, but I didn't get it. I wonder if that's because of my settings. I only have, no, I doubt it's because of my settings. I only had 100 megabytes. Can't believe I missed it. I thought I was going to get this one. This shows me that, all right, drops are almost impossible these days. I think everybody's realized that, but for me, I was getting lucky on that drop. So I felt like I actually had chances to get these drops. The last handful of drops have told me, don't even think about the drops anymore. These are going to be, extremely hard to get, especially moving on in the future. So I'm actually interested to see if this new drop system being implemented will help or make it just even harder. It's going to be interesting. Let's see. If anybody got wins, let me know. Win or losses. Doob struck out. Doob's got an L. Let's go, Diego. Diego with a dub. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so at least I know some people got it. Comics are hard to get. Yo, December struck out. Gio got a dub. Let's go. And let me know what was your strategy too. Did you just like one tap it or did you spam it? Tony got it. Let's go. So far like 3 people got it. Yeah, it's a sub 5K mint, Gio. That's good. That's good. December struck out. God, man, December. We need you to get one. We need you to get one. Verena, dub. Borat, dub. Wow, everybody got one? Yeah, everybody got one besides me in December, I feel like. And Doobs. Doobs struck out too. Oh, okay. He spammed it. Okay. One time, one tap. Time gate. So it looks like I would say majority of people so far one tapped it, one tap time gate. But Diego got through and he spammed it. So good to know that spamming does work on these still. Jose Ramirez, how we do it, brother? Do we get one? Lenick struck out. Borat with the one tap. One tap, one drop. All you need. I'm going to post how my drop went. The little pause was such a tease. I said struck out again. That little pause was such a tease. Really thought I got through today. If you guys got one, repost to the tweet I'm about to write, and I'll retweet it. Big L, yeah. I took an L today too. Man, you know what I hate about losing? Well, I'm sorry. You know what I hate about the drops when I don't get it? I feel like I lost. I hate losing. Like so much so to where like even if it's a comic book to where it's not incredibly valuable, like I would say this comment is probably going to be anywhere from 15 to like $22 right away off the start. The comment. I could be wrong, of course, but that's just where I'm saying it. So like it's not going to be crazy valuable, but just the fact that like I feel like I lost. I hate losing so much. So like I would love to win, even though it's not that valuable of a comment. Danny Williamson, it must be my lucky day. Did we get one, Danny? Yeah, Peter Jose asking, how do you spam just pressing the button a lot of times? Yep. So that's all it is, my man. So my button's still there. So basically, like when the timer's counting down, I think people just keep tapping buy now, and they'll. Wow, that's crazy that it just let me do that many times. Did you guys see that the first time? I was just. So I guess this is like the spamming way, but it doesn't like register until it clicks. I didn't know it did that. I thought every time you would click it, it would just come up. So maybe that is the way. You got a little bot in here. Let's go. Hype Plix with a dub. Yeah, I hate losing. I hate losing so much. Justin got one. Let's go, Justin Toledo. Did you get one on the rebound or did you get one on the actual drop? Justin Toledo. Is that Jet Toledo's at YouTube? Let's go if it is. Struck out on drop and the first rebound. Oh, that's big time. Let's go, Joshua. So that's good news that the rebound still worked. I'm guessing they still pop up every 4 minutes, too. It's definitely getting tough for sure. I think this is why the Master Collector Program points is going to be huge. Okay, can you imagine? We have a sought after drop. Just say, I think Star Wars is going to come soon, maybe before the Master Collector Program. But maybe they're saving some of these big drops for the Master Collector Program, right? To where, what if they're saving Jurassic Park for that same thing? And so they may release the T-Rex drop and the ultra rare T-Rex is say, 1,500 editions. Well, if there's a 1,500 edition drop, obviously trying to get that drop is impossible. The people who really want that, maybe it's a Star Wars drop, ultra rare Star Wars, ultra rare Darth Vader, I should say, with like an animated lightsaber. If there's less than 3,000, 5,000 editions of that, good luck getting that on the drop. So maybe people use their Master Collector Program points to try to actually have better luck getting that crazy drop. So that could actually work. Let's go. First successful drop, my man. Yeah, hopefully you get a good rarity out of it. Maybe, I mean, the thing is, you could get blessed and get a secret rare. That could be $1,000. I mean, this comic book is not like a Marvel Comics #1. If you were able to get a secret rare of that, that's like $30K right now. This one I think will start out probably closer to $1,000. And so I always tell people, my man, like right now, little window before the marketplace opens, this is the time to come up with a strategy. Try to think to yourself, if I get an ultra rare, am I going to want to hold that or sell it? If I get delivered a secret rare, am I going to want to hold that? As like part of my first ever drop, I'm going to keep that. It means something to me. Or I need the gems right now, so I'm going to sell that. If you can come up with a decision right now, before the marketplace opens, before your comic even gets delivered, you're going to be able to make a split-second decision as soon as the marketplace opens, and that could be the difference between an $800 sale, or you hesitate, not sure what you want to do, end up wanting to sell it later, and you can only sell it for $300. You know, it's the difference between almost $500,000. It could be even more than that. Not financial advice, but I always think it's crucial to come up with a strategy right now. Ideally, you get your comic book delivered before that marketplace opens. Sometimes the marketplace will open, you still don't know which rarity you got. And that's unfortunate, but it just happens sometimes. It's just before the drop, you need to align the error button with the buy now. So is that why people spam it? I feel like you can align it by just going back and kind of going back in. It's almost like refreshing the page. First try, surprisingly. Let's go. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully you get a good rarity too, my man. The first drop. Sometimes you don't get blessed and you get a common, maybe only worth $20, $15, but still, I mean, it's more than what you put in. In the early days, crazy. I mean, when the Marvel Comics 1 just dropped, people were getting that comic book, paid $7, and literally selling it for $4. We were like, what? And then all of a sudden, the smart money was buying it, and price is like $200 for the comic. Interesting. Okay. So a lot of people have better luck at the rebound 4-minute mark. I haven't got a rebound in the longest time, to be honest, but not too worried. VeVe Las Vegas. Congrats to those who got one. Big L for this guy. It's like a big L too, man. Don't worry. I may go back to bed for like a couple hours. Is 18,603 a good number? I would say it's not the best mint number. It's a little bit high of a mint number. You want to try to, I would say anything lower than like 1,000 is pretty solid. A 3-digit mint number is really good. Anything lower than 5,000 is pretty good too. Sub 10,000 is pretty much, I would say, the last tier they would go for a low mint. But sometimes you can have a high mint and it could still be important because say you get like, you know, mint number that's like a repeating number, like all threes, like 33333. It could be 33,333 high mint, but because it's all repeating, that's still pretty big. So unfortunately, you don't have anything too crazy of a mint number. It doesn't stand out to me. Just like look at numbers, and if it stands out to you, it will probably stand out to somebody else too. Like for example, I have a Kid Robin FA. It's not a crazy mint at all. It's a high mint. It's the number 11777. And so when you see the number 11777, it's 11,777. Not crazy, right? But it's got two repeating numbers, and they're two popular numbers, 11 and 7. Like for me, those are my two favorite numbers. So that's why I kept it. I didn't really want to sell it. I bought it for the floor price, I think, too. So something like that, if you have a repeating number and you list it for the floor, it's going to sell immediately. A lot of times, a whole repeating number like 3333 would be something you don't want to sell for the floor. But something in between, like my number 11777, it kind of looks pretty cool, but it's not like a crazy number. I could put it for the floor, it'll probably sell really quick. If I listed it for a lot higher than the floor, it probably wouldn't sell. Knight Rider took an L. Oh, this is awesome, man. We got a Paperboy making bank with VeVe. I mean, you're hustling, man. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? I was thinking of an app too. I'm a paper boy up at 1 a.m. Put all my tips into VeVe Omi. That's amazing. Those tips are gonna be worth a lot, I think. You put all your tips, a few bucks here and there in the VeVe Omi. I think it's gonna be worth more than just holding the cash for it. So that's a great idea. Ooh, great question, Justin. Better $400 investment in your opinion? Common, uncommon Steamboat Mickey or the FA Wonder Woman? Wow. Okay. Great question here, because we got the Wonder Woman first appearance, huge character, right? Like huge character, like one of the most popular characters. Then we have Mickey Mouse, huge character, common, uncommon, series 1 of the NFT of the Mickey Mouse NFT collection, but it's not the first appearance of Mickey Mouse. So we're gonna find out real soon how important these FAs are to collectors. Maybe short term, people don't care about the FA. I think the FA is more so like a stamp for long-term safety, meaning, I think Pirates just talked about this too in a little bit of his video. For Superman example, that's the first appearance of Superman, gonna be iconic. But they could do anything in the world, meaning the next Superman drop, they could make it not first appearance, obviously would be first appearance, but maybe it's half the editions, or maybe something crazy. Maybe it's 888 editions of Superman, not first appearance, series 2. So like, what would people want, you know? For me, I want the first appearance. I want the first time that character ever came out. Boom. It's like, it's just part of history, you know? So I think first appearances will be big, especially long term, because I see them making multiple Superman eventually in digital format. The same way Mickey Mouse, they're probably going to have a ton of Mickey Mouse collectibles, right? So having the first appearance of these big characters, I think, will be huge. To answer this question, I just wanted to give some background on both. I would actually lean, believe it or not, oh man. If you have any of those Mickey Mouse collectibles already, I think it's an easy Wonder Woman decision. If you only have that one, if you don't have any Mickey Mouse collectibles and you're wondering, it's tough, man. I could see the Mickey Mouse NFT collection going crazy. I could see even the common, uncommon going up above 500, close to $1,000. Wonder Woman's not the full set, so maybe that's hurting Wonder Woman a little bit. But Wonder Woman, I think, should be over $700. I see it being like 800. If Superman's finally getting to 2.2K, that's a full set, first appearance, huge character. I think eventually Wonder Woman could see $1,000. I do see that happening. Oh man, it's tough. It really is a tough one. Either way, I don't think you can lose on that decision. Wonder Woman looks amazing. I won't lie. Wonder Woman's one I wish I did stack. Didn't have enough gems to be able to stack that one. Wow, Steamboat Willie will be 100 years old in 6 years. If you can hold the Steamboat Willie for another 6 years, it's going to be iconic. Let's go. J East Music got one today. I think the sleep is over with FAs. I agree, Hyplex. I really do. I mean, FA Joker's touching $1,000 right now. I had 7 FA Jokers at one point. I'm not mad about it because I had to sell them off to increase my collection. But, like, I'm glad I got 2 still. And I got my 1 Harley Quinn 288 mid number. It's just going to be crazy, I think. Like, that's why I'm so in love with my collection. I'm not selling any of these. Like, that's a difference with me, I think, is like, I'm trying to make money out of this eventually with some of my big time collectibles. But I'm more so looking at it like I want to create a passive income stream for people to come in, you know, tip a couple gems here and there, or maybe have a fee for a couple gems, Omi or whatever, and just have people visit the collection instead of having to sell off these collectibles. Like my Harley Quinn FA low mint 288, that's originally owned, like from retail I got. That tells a story in itself with Harley Quinn. I would never sell that one. Same way with Joker, FA Joker. I have like a 500 mint originally owned. I have originally owned like 300 or 400 mint Penguin FA. I'm not going to sell. So like in my eyes, I've always debated this, you know, I have a lot of low mints. Like those, for example, I was always torn. Do I sell these low mints for like a high price and then just keep my floor collectible? But I can't. That's the collector in me coming out. If I wanted maybe the top ROI, I probably should do that. But I think I'm gonna have enough collectibles to, sell off, make a pretty solid profit, and holding those originally owned low mint for FA characters, important characters, season one. I mean, too much to me. It's like having an original. It's like having an original owned car, as opposed to buying like a used car. I think. I mean, imagine being the original owner of a classic old school car that came out like 30 years ago, right? As opposed to buying like a used one of those cars. Buying one of those is still crazy. Like you have that in your collection now. But to be the original owner is just like mind blowing. It's like you still have that. It's just like I think people would pay more money long term to buy something that was only owned by one person, as opposed to being like the 12th owner of this collectible. You know, I think being able to look at that too, like you come in a museum, I think it would mean more to see like, wow, this guy was the original owner of all these important FA collectibles. He's the original owner of the FA Todd, the FA Penguin, FA Harley Quinn, the FA Joker. Like there's not too many people that are going to be able to say that. There's only 7,500 people in the world that are going to be able to say that, and even way less because of how many people have traded and sold throughout the way. So, I mean, collecting is always about collecting things that most people can't get, right? So that's going to be the difference right there. There's going to be a ton of rich people, like a ton of rich people, ton of rich celebrities, pro athletes. They're going to buy the lowest mints possible. They're going to make that impossible to get. You're not going to be able to get like Jay Kill. You got that sub 500 Todd. That could demand $1 million because there's going to be 500 millionaires who are going to want the lowest first ever collectible. Like the difference is what I feel so proud about is that no matter who comes onto this app, no matter who, buys whatever, no one's going to be able to buy the original owner. Like you're not going to be able to buy into being the original owner. That's why I think it's going to be crucial. Let's go. My first YouTube video coming soon. How a paperboy turned his tips into a 6-figure Omi VeVe NFT collection. Let's go. VeVe Las Vegas. I'm going to be your first subscriber. Let me know when you make the channel, and I'll support you like crazy. That's going to be awesome. Joshua, that's actually a good point. It's discouraging not hitting a 30K drop, and we will have a more limited drop Thursday. Yeah, I mean, discouraging. I would say that's the wrong word to use, though. I mean, it's. I guess right now that's actually a good word, discouraging, just because you feel like you do have no hope getting a super limited drop when you can't even get 30,000 mints. But I think you just have to chalk that up to, if you do have any collectibles right now, be grateful for the ones you do have, because in the future it's only going to get harder. Like that's the difference. We were used to a time in VeVe where we're like, okay, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take all of these. And so that became like a norm. That's not going to be a norm. It was a comment. Okay. I do like the comment on this one a lot. See, Brito got one. Let's go. No, I did not hit today. Let me repost some people on Twitter too. Drops like a truck. What? Let's go. Yeah, absolutely. You can actually see when you hit the buy now. That's why I take the videos of these. Like you can tell in this video, I was a little late. Like you can see. I'm gonna replay it for you guys. See, I wasn't really doing the timing technique. I kind of switched to reacting just because I've been off on my timing. I haven't been able to time it right. I've been too early, I think. We got Getsy in the building. How we doing, brother? I'm gonna give you a follow, VeVe Las Vegas. Favorite golden moment excluding partners. Wow, this is an amazing question. I love Simpsons. I love the Homer and Bart. It would be between Homer and Bart, Elsa, and R2D2. Those are my favorite. I did like Pizza Truck. I also like the details of Wally a lot. Wally's details are insane. But I think my 3 favorites for sure, without a doubt, aesthetic wise and like value wise proposition, both of them I absolutely love. Elsa, Bart, and R2D2. Love those. Obviously Walt, but you said excluding partner statue. Knight Rider, I think this is the question that we're all debating right now. Knight Rider says, should I sell my Superman when it hits 2.5k gems and wait until the next dip comes? Because I think if something huge will be announced, it could go to 1.5k. This is one where I have 2 Superman too, so I've actually thought about this as well. I've thought about doing it with Todd. But I think with these big time collectibles, Todd, Superman, it's a tough one. I mean, you could risk it. It's a risk. It's a risk versus reward. You could risk it, try to time the market, and it could work out perfectly. Boom, you sell it for a 2.5k. Next day they announce something, it dips to 1.7k. You look like a genius. You're only doing that to risk like maybe $1,000 though. This is how I look at it. You got to like weigh the pros versus the cons, because there's no one way to play anything. You could play it a whole bunch of different ways. That's just one way though, right? You could time it, but you're risking like $1,000 right there. Is it worth trying to profit $1,000 versus the opposite side? You sell for 2.5k, they announce something or they don't announce something, and now Superman is 3.7k, and there's no sign of stopping. Because Superman's so big to where I can see demand being there at 5k. I try to look at this and saying, okay, if Superman's a 4k price, are people still willing to pay for it? Because that's the big thing: is scarcity with popularity, with demand. It's supply and demand, right? Super limited drops would say 20 collectibles, 20 editions, 50 editions, like the comic book drop. Ready? 40 editions for that secret rare. With something with 40 editions, the floor is going to be crazy high because there's only 40 people that can have that. So out of that 40 people, how many are willing to just hold it until it's 100k floor, etc.? So that's why those super limited drops will have crazy high floors right away. Now, here comes the debate. How liquidable will that be? That depends on how popular that collectible or comic is. That's why I think Superman, like for Donnie, for example, there's 100 of them, basically. The floor is 100k, but like how many people are buying Donnie at 100k? If it was the first appearance of Superman, and there's only 100 of them, and the floor is 100k, I think there would be people that would pay 100k for it because of how popular Superman is. Batman, Spider-Man. So it's just tough. Like these, it's so tough, man, because I don't want to say do it, not financial advice, because it could go either way. Superman could be 5k easily. It could dip easily too. So there's no right way to play it. For me personally, with big grails like that, big holy grails, big blue chips, big time collectibles, I try not to risk it if I don't have to. Sometimes you have to kind of risk it. There's no other way for you to get liquid gems available. So sometimes you do have to risk it. Like for me, I risked it with the Da Vinci. That's a big time one. You don't really want to play with that one, right? And I wouldn't have played with that one if I only had one. If I only had one, there's no way I would have done it. I would have just kept one Walt at that point. But when you do have duplicates, you can risk it. So if you had duplicate Superman, this kind of changes that question and how I would react. If you only have one Superman, I'd say no. I'd say no, not financial advice. Even if it dips 1,000, I say hold it. If you had 2 or 3 Superman, you could start playing that game, is how I look at it. I hope that helps. Do whichever one you feel the best. That's just the way I look at it. Yeah, December. I love Homer and Bart. I mean, the bottom of that is signed. And just the base hits different than any other collectible. Even when you put Walt, Like I love using these collectibles. The bases, like the ceiling or the floor or the ceiling, especially with that signature, it just pops. But the way that gold hits is different. Like it really is like different shade of gold that they use. Oh man, sold Elsa, sold C3PO and R2D2. Okay, you held Bart and skateboard. See what happens. Okay, interesting. See, I think Elsa will be big. R2D2 will be big, but sometimes you got to make some plays, right? So hopefully that works out for you, my man, Robert. I need R2. Unless you got to do, but don't let it go. Yeah, I feel the same way, Willow. December, you're not alone. I've gotten blessed with so far, knock on wood, great timing decisions, but it's so stressful. I mean, I stayed on live stream one time when I was trying to get Walt. You guys saw me freaking out. I was listing, delisting things because it's stressful. These are big money decisions that we got to make. And so December just said it's difficult to flip the market, like basically time the market. I usually sell when I think the price is high, and when I sell, it gets way higher. When I don't sell, the prices usually sink. I feel like everybody's feeling like that right now. I sold my extra Superman for 1,400 2 weeks ago to load up on Wonder Woman. I should have waited. Oh well. Yeah, and that's the thing, Getsy. I mean, it could still be a good decision. I mean, the worst thing you can do now is keep chasing the dragon's tail. I call it. It's like, you sold Superman for 1,400, probably took profits there, right? You probably didn't sell out of the loss, which is still a win. To load up on Wonder Woman, thinking that one's going to explode. So now you have a bunch of Wonder Woman, which is perfectly fine. The worst thing I think you can do now is like sell Wonder Woman off for the Superman, because now Wonder Woman will probably go up and Superman dips back down. So I feel like once you start chasing that, you're like always one step behind. Instead, you can flip that process and just wait until the Wonder Woman get up there above 500 or whatever the case may be. And now you're kind of on that market cycle. Now you can sell them off when everyone's buying them, and you can kind of get back on that right side of the flow, I would say, the right side of the flow, if that makes sense. I feel the same way, Willow. I'm not selling Superman until it's life changing, or if I absolutely have to, sell my Duke to invest in something else, I think will be big. But it's hard to get bigger than Superman. Like the big three: Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. Also, being like a mainstream person in society who's not like a huge collector into superheroes, that much into comics, etc. I feel like I almost have. Maybe I don't, but I feel like I almost have a better pulse on what the mainstream, not hardcore collecting fan would like, because I'm one of them. I'm not your hardcore collecting person in the superhero world, comic book world. So like for me, if I know the character, I know that's going to be huge because I don't know the details of like every superhero character. Like Catwoman's going to be huge. I know how important Catwoman is because someone like me, I knew who Catwoman was already. Catwoman's a huge character. Like, for example, I'm trying to think. What is something that I don't really know? It's like not huge. I'm gonna look through the brands real quick. And just because I don't know something doesn't mean it's not going to be big either. There's so many things where I didn't know and had to do research to understand how big this was going to be, and I was like, oh wow, okay, that's a must-have. All right, so something like Mara, for example, never even heard of Mara. It's a rare, so I think after a little bit of research and I understood who Mara was, could be released in a new movie coming out eventually. But so like out of this set, Batgirl, Catwoman, Supergirl, Mara. Catwoman, I thought right away has a chance to be absolutely massive in this set. Because someone like me, I understood how big Catwoman already was. So if I knew how big Catwoman was, I know it's a big time character. What's another example here? There's another good one I was thinking of. All right, here's another one. All right, the DC artist set. We got Batgirl, who we already have Batgirl in the FA. Supergirl, which we already have in the FA. Hawkgirl, which is in FA. And then Wonder Woman, which is in FA. Hawkgirl's the ultra rare. Wonder Woman's the common. instantly I knew right away I'm targeting Wonder Woman. Like, I know Wonder Woman. I already knew who Wonder Woman was. Never even heard of Hawkgirl. That's no shade on Hawkgirl. Like, I'm sure being the ultra rare too, Hawkgirl will get its day to shine. I actually don't have one yet, but I think it's going to go up. Absolutely. But I just knew right away. I'm just talking about examples how I'm able to determine like what a big character is, because I'm not your biggest collector. But I knew Wonder Woman already before VeVe. So I was like, wow, Wonder Woman's an iconic character. This is going to be huge. It's the comic, so people are going to sleep on it because of that rarity title, even though I know Wonder Woman, so I already know how big the character is. So that's why I feel like not being your hardcore collector almost helps me in a way, because I knew not to target Hawkgirl. Some people who would be like huge collectors, they may be a little bit biased without even realizing, just because they're big fans. They knew Hawkgirl already. Just using that as an example. But what's the difference between FA, FE, and CE? This is a great question. I think this is going to be a constant question throughout VeVe. So I think once I can explain it a little bit better, I'll make a video on the difference. But David Hughes talked about this, and I think what's confusing people is collectibles like the Harley Quinn of that Red and Black series of first edition, because first edition used to be any collectible that was like the first of that series, basically. That's why the Harley Quinn Red and Black series, that first series 1, is the first edition of Harley Quinn. But I think what VeVe has said they're going to do is they're going to make the artist collectibles the first edition. So we won't really see in the future collectibles that are first editions. We'll see collectibles have the first appearance, because it's the first time that characters appeared in digital format. So, for example, FA Captain America. It's the Mighties because it's the first time that Captain America has appeared in digital format. Over the years, there's probably going to be a ton more Captain America collectibles that get released. So, and then CE is Comic-Con exclusive. So anytime there's a Comic-Con event, right now it's only like the digital Comic-Con. We saw Designer Con. That was a physical event. So we will start seeing more physical events to where collectibles may be only released during that event. And that's why they have that exclusive CE tag with it. Gives it a little bit more, collectability, I would say. That's not a bad idea either. I mean, just trying to stack gems right now for what's to come. If you already feel like you got a solid collection, definitely a good idea. I know what they stand for, but I want to get an explanation of what they should mean to me and the collection. I hope what I said kind of explains it. Like, if you watch the interview that Pirates, Claire, Gail, and I had with David Yu, it was an amazing explanation. I just feel like it's going to be a question that's constantly asked for sure. If you want to go watch that interview, I forget where exactly. I should timestamp it if I can find it, but I did ask that question to David, and David did answer it. But I'm pretty sure they talked about how like the artist collectibles, like say Ron English releases another series, not the serial killers, another whole different thing. That'd be like the first edition. But for collectibles, I think they're going to keep it first appearances of things. So also, I wonder if, wow, you know what I'm thinking? If they do that and they only keep it for the artist collectibles, the market should be open, actually. Let me check, because it's past 30 minutes. Yeah, market's open, guys. Sorry, I was a little late. Let me go over the market real quick. We got the common down to $9 already. 294 available, $9 floor. Uncommon, 111 available, $16 floor. The rare, 69 available, $60 floor. 22 available for the ultra rare, $249 is the floor. Secret rare, $800 and 19 available. So I was just saying earlier, like before I just started talking about the market, I feel like if you get a first edition Harley Quinn, if you get a first edition Batman, maybe that's going to be iconic, because in the future there will only be first appearance of these collectibles and not first edition collectibles that are from like corporation IP brands. And they'll only be artists first edition. I wonder if that's the case. And it's almost like misprint. It'd be interesting to find out. Big Four should include Ben Reilly's Secret Rare Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man just as a whole will be included in that. I mean, Spider-Man's so big to where even the first edition of Spider-Man Zombie, it's still first edition of a different variation of Spider-Man. Spider-Man being the most popular superhero, I don't think you can go wrong with any FA Spider-Man. Yeah, Jose, this is going to be the big question. He said, what do you think about Steamboat Mickey series is not FA Mickey? So does that have enough value like others, like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman? So that's going to be the big question going forward, just because we're going to see tons of collectibles eventually still be valuable, even though it doesn't have the FA. FA is just like a stamp of like first time ever. That's why there's going to be people, though, that don't really care about that as much. It's going to be interesting to see it play out. I think long-term FA is the way to go. But they may release a cooler variation that is not the FA, you know, short term. No, I don't think transfers count as sales. Nope. Yeah, hopefully it's definitely a. Don't feel bad for asking that question, because that's gonna be a question that's asked like a year from now. Still, I think. It's always good to ask the question too, because you get an updated answer. Which Todd Mint would you rather have? 2001 birth year or 2800? I would go 2001. 2800 looks pretty clean, but so does 2001. 2001's lower mint. And 2001 is going to be a lot of people's birth year. I think so. It's always crazy to me to hear people born in the 2000s. Makes me feel so old. I never thought I'd say that. I was a 90s baby. Let's go. Shout out to the 90s babies out there. Born in 93. Yeah, I was a little late on opening the market. I need that Wi-Fi speed. Good luck, Daniel, picking up any in the market. I am going to pick up a common here. Probably just pick one up for under $15. Just want a little something. Nothing crazy. Yeah, I just picked up a common. That'll be it. Now I feel old. Born in 84. Hey, let's go. That's not old at all, my man. I feel like we got a lot of people born in the 80s. I feel like that's the majority of the audience right now. One VeVe, I would say. I feel like majority of the people from everybody's like what they talk about, their YouTube analytics, and everybody's tuning in watching. I feel like most of the time it's like people from like 30 to 45 range. I would say is the majority of people, which makes sense to me, because those are the ages where people have some money, right? People have some money now, and they're collecting a lot of things that they grew up with, as opposed to a lot of kids on the app, because kids are into a lot of these things, but they just don't have the money. We're getting blessed right now to be able to scoop up these things. I mean, I've seen a lot of younger kids, though, younger as in anywhere from like 19 to 20-year-olds. These people are getting in something that's going to be life-changing at an early age. I think that's going to start to increase too. Like the age is going to get younger and younger and younger. We're going to see high school kids being like anywhere from like 15 to 18 years old, being in high school, being sophomores, juniors in high school, telling kids, yo, I'm on the VeVe app making 20 grand a month. Like, that's what it's going to get to. It's going to get to the point where all these schools are going to be on VeVe. And that's where the takeoff happens. Let's go. Just turned 24. Punisher, 20G58. Yeah, I feel like getting into VeVe now. I mean, I was just seeing I think it was VeVe Vision. Those guys over there, I think they're like 20, 21 years old. I'm sure they built their vaults up into a collection now to where without VeVe, I know for me, I would not have the the net worth, or what he would say, with the portfolio amount. I would not have that kind of money if it wasn't for VeVe. Obviously, it's not liquidable yet, right? Obviously. But like, just to build up a portfolio that's worth that amount of money, this is going to be life-changing for so many people. Like, it will get to the point where there's a bunch of toys on here for little kids, right? And they're going to be all on the VeVe app. It's all about accessibility. Once they make it, imagine kids growing up. They have their favorite dolls, toys that they're playing with, and they're doing all these microtransactions, switching their dresses for the Barbie dolls that get released, switching their rims on their cars, paint jobs. Microtransactions alone in video games are $1 billion a year industry. Think about that. Video games like Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, the microtransactions are $1 billion a year industry. VeVe has the same KPIs as Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto, meaning they're hitting the same key performance indicators as Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto, as these big time video games. So when they have microtransactions, what's that going to be? How many billions of dollars a year is that going to be eventually? Obviously, it's not going to happen right away, but think about that. When there's just as many people using VeVe as, say when there's 20 million people in VeVe, everybody's doing microtransactions, flipping their rims to the next to spinners and stuff like that, right? West Coast customs are probably going to be released one day. Like, think about how much is going to be burned. I think people are going to be blown away by Omi, not just the collectibles. Like, people are constantly saying, like, we don't have enough Omi, which I get that feeling. Absolutely. I feel that way too all the time. But you got to think, this is going to blow people out of the water. Like, once we get on major exchanges, once people can buy Omi on the VeVe app, the accessibility is going to be through the roof. I think anybody who has over 100K Omi will be so surprised what happens. Even just a year or two from now. Like, something that seems so little right now. 100K Omi is probably like $600 right now. I don't know many other investments that I would say are this safe that you could put $600 into, get 100,000 Omi, and have the potential of that turning into $100,000. Like, it sounds too good to be true. That's why people say it can't happen. Most people aren't in Omi. The people who are in Omi, it's like our own little ecosystem. We've been in it for a while, most of us, so we feel like it's the same thing with collectibles. People were holding on to their collectibles for like half a year, thinking, okay, I've held on to it for like half a year. It's stayed stagnant. I'm going to sell off because it's just seeing this go to 6K is like too good to be true, Crazy stuff happens. It really does. I want kids to use VeVe too. It's the high cost that concerns me. Everything is expensive. Hopefully gamification does justice. Everything is expensive right now. Soon they're going to be releasing, I bet, toys for kids to use. Maybe 500 editions, 250 editions of this collectible, not first appearance. And kids are going to be using that like crazy. So I think we're just blessed right now to have the Holy Grail collectibles. And then eventually we're going to have like 50,000 editions, 100,000 editions, 500,000 editions. And so that's going to be something that's going to be a little bit more affordable for a lot of these people. When do we think Todd's going to flip Rizzo? I think it's going to take a while for Todd to flip Rizzo. Just because Rizzo has so many few editions, it's going to be easy to set that floor high. But Todd will get there. I'm almost positive Todd will get there. I got to blow my nose so bad. It's getting crazy. I'm going to go over the prices one last time before I sign off and blow my nose. Jesus. All right, so the common's $10.69, $12. The uncommon is $20. Man. The rare $60 still. Ultra rare dropped to $190. I thought $250 would have been a good buy at this one. Wow. Secret rare. $485 already. See, it would just start out at $800. That's why if you can come up with a decision right away, you would have just saved $400 right there. Maybe you sold off right away, you had a game plan, boom, $800, pocketed. Well, the floor is now $485. You could rebuy if you wanted to. Crucial to have game plan. Crucial to have game plan. That 30-minute window gives you a game plan to think about it, you know? So just in the future, remember, if you guys did forget, come up with a game plan in that 30-minute window. I mean, ultra rare started at like 300, 250. Now they're 180. So definitely moves to make if you can have a solid decision making right away. All right, guys, I'm gonna be signing off. Next comic book drop is Thursday. Super limited drop, so get those finger tapping skills ready. Start practicing. I gotta practice. I gotta get 2 days going or something because I've been striking out big time with my timing. But I'm gonna be signing off. Appreciate you guys big time for tuning in. All the support. You guys are amazing. We are monetized again. I finally got it verified, so that's good to see. So I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna be signing off. See you guys next stream. It's your boy Johnny Dunn. We out, y'all.